in my heart, I'm gonna sing till the Spirit moves in my heart. I'm gonna sing till Jesus comes. I'm gonna sing till the Spirit moves in my heart. I'm gonna sing till the Spirit.
Or Sierra, like Doogie, the one that's calling themselves the Jew today. It says the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. Okay, the Moab and the Hagarenes. The Ishmaelites are the father of the Arabs. So now they have consulted to even together to say the land is ours. See, people talk about, hey, look, it was wrong what the Jews or people that are in Israel today did when they displaced those of Palestine. And you see how they treat them today. They treat them like dogs. I'm not even debating that. But prior to that, who was in that land? We were. We were in that land. See, they fighting over our land. While we picking sides, that's our land. Alright? So let's go to verse 12 to find out what they said. Because all these people were in cahoots with one another. They said, who said? And the top of the list. They had other names, but the top of the list are these two. And now they fighting each other. They said, who said? Let us take ourselves the houses of God in possession. And that's exactly what they have done. That's exactly what they have done. Let's go to Genesis, the 27th chapter. Genesis, the 27th chapter. Because, again, Esau was in line for that blessing. He was that firstborn, but he sold his birthright to Jacob for pottage, for some soup. He despised his birthright and sold it, and then tried to take it. See, people call this the stolen blessing. Brothers and sisters, Rebecca knew what God's will was because it was shown unto her. And she sent her son in dressed up like Esau, or kind of had the skins on him so he would appear hairy like him, and he even smelled like him. And he came with the venison to his father, and he said, I am Esau. Well, he was the firstborn in the sense that he had that birthright that was to be his. See, Esau sold it and then was going to try to get it. So who's dishonest? But nevertheless, 27. Genesis 27 and 37. It says, because now while Esau crying these crocodile tears, it says, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? So then he's telling him, hey, look, I gave the blessing away. And it said, and he shall be blessed. And Israel was blessed. Verse 38, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So he's crying. Verse 39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And that is his dwelling. Living off the fatness of the earth. You look at who runs the institutions. And this is not anything about being anti-Semitic. But you're looking at per capita, they make more than practically everybody else in the United States. Just here alone. You look at them, they are surrounded by enemies. And yet they are sustained by European Western powers and the United States. And are sustained in a way in which they have been given weaponry and money every year to sustain them. This is just the facts of the matter. I want to make it perfectly clear. I'm not against them. I'm not against anybody. I'm just reading scripture. Okay? Verse 39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live. They living by their sword. They are surrounded by their enemies. And yet they are powerful in all those Arab countries. Why? Because they living by the sword. They living by the sword. And shall serve thy brethren. It shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay? And that's what's happened. They've gotten above us. And they even run our communities. They not only run a lot of our communities, they run our image. The image of us, they run it. They control it. All right? 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. So he hated his brother. But let's go to the Psalms, the 147th division. Because again, if we are indeed the children of Israel, what should we be doing? What did he give us? These are the things we need to be asking ourselves. How did it come to be if we are the children of Israel and we go after Islam and the Arabs' religion? That doesn't make any sense at all. Alright? Let's look at what he gave to Israel and Israel alone. This is the 147th division of Psalms. It says, in the 18th verse, or the 19th verse, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. See, it doesn't say Ishmael here. It doesn't say Esau here. It doesn't say the Gentiles, who are even, they claim a lot that they are the ones which the Lord is working through now. Brothers and sisters, the Lord does not change. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Hey, look, he don't have to change. He has a protocol set up. The Father gives it to the Son gives it to the angel gives it to Israel, or one of the prophets, the prophet of Israel give it to the rest of the nation, and that nation was supposed to give it to all the other sons of Adam. It's just that simple. It has not changed. Even with all our slavery and our oppression, it has not changed. And we are seeing that now, as more of us are starting to awaken, like dry bones in the valley, coming to life. It says in 19, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. He didn't deal with any other nation. Brothers and sisters, that point, that he didn't deal with any other nation like that, meaning showing his word to and who he's dealing with, that's all over the Bible. Okay? See, even when the word was given to the Gentiles, what was given to the Gentiles is what we had. It wasn't something different. See, it was for all people, but he came to Israel. And you have to do what Israel did. I'm not talking about the one over there now. I'm talking about the true Israelites, the one that's being scoffed and spit on right now. It is ones that's sitting up in these projects, in these ghettos. See, people are talking about they want to help the Jew. Go to the projects and give somebody some food or some clothes. You want to help the Jew? That's how you help the Jew. Stop with all the miseducation that you are providing us. You want to help the Jew? Stop oppressing us on the streets. You want to help the Jew? Just give us a fair shot. That's how you help a Jew. But this is Amos 3. He says something about Israel. He says in verse 1, hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquity. And he has punished us, brothers and sisters. This transatlantic slave trade has been quite a punishment. He said, not only am I going to kick you out of the land, wherever you go, I'm going to be kicking you in the butt. And that's what's happened. Putting you in chains. That's what's happened. We had apartheid systems here. We fill the prisons unto this day, have no economic wealth for the most part. I didn't say money, I said wealth. There's a difference. It says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. And that's why our punishment was so severe. Not because of our inferiority. We are not inferior. So, we see what he's given. He gave us his word. He showed himself to Israel. And brothers and sisters, we must understand what we must do. We need to understand this about God. This is John the 4th chapter. This is John the 4th chapter. And this is a Samaritan woman who thought she was of Israel. Because the Samaritans, many times when people conquer people, they will move the people that are of that land and put other people there. And that's what happened. These Samaritans were there. And so the Israelites at this time had no dealings with the Samaritans. And this Samaritan woman had an encounter with Jesus, and he told her something. He said, because she said in verse 20 of John 4:20, our fathers worshipped in this mountain. It's talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the forefathers. They're not her fathers. Okay? And ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. And that is true. Okay? Even Muhammad, when you look at your history, not your history, rather the history of Islam, Muhammad worshipped towards Jerusalem. Muhammad kept the Day of Atonement. But when he got fed up with the Jews for not converting to his religion because they looked at it